Hey, SEL Magic the Gathering. I'm back off from my 4-month hiatus. Towards the end of October, we're starting to get into finals and stuff for university, and so I dealt with that. And then obviously Christmas came up, and then even after that, after all my classes were done, my family went on a 3-week vacation. So I didn't get back. I just got back like about a week or two ago. So I'm really sorry I haven't been making videos. I know I'm not the most popular guy, but there were a couple people that messaged me and left comments and stuff that wanted me to make another video. So I'm going to hopefully continue making videos for the foreseeable future, I guess. And some big news, obviously, Gatecrash is out, which is pretty freaking awesome. Last week was the first FNM. I did not play in it. I drafted, actually. I got first in draft. I really like this draft set. This is the first time I got to actually take a look at it because I wasn't there for the pre-release. I was out of town. But drafting-wise, it was really, really cool. All the different colors the color combinations are awesome, like Gruul and Simic and Orzhov and all that. They're really, really awesome. I played a Simic deck. I can show you the list in a different video. I don't have it ready or anything like that. But yeah, I played Simic. It was pretty good. I didn't really have any trouble with any decks. I felt Simic's probably one of the strongest colors for drafting wise. But on to bigger news, there was also a Star City event last weekend. I don't know if any of you guys saw that on Twitch TV. They usually stream them. I didn't get to watch all of it because I had work, but I did get a kind of look at all the articles and stuff they posted about it. And from the looks of it, aggro's coming back. Not Thragtusk aggro, I'm talking mono red, red white, Naya humans, and that's awesome because of the fact that the format's changing and becoming more diverse than it was during the Thragtusk and Sphinx's Revelation era. But that is also good for me because pretty much my favorite deck type is Control. I like Control, and it's going to be hard because there's a lot of fast decks right now, and Control's main mass removal, Supreme Verdict, kind of gets countered by a new card that was printed. I don't know if you guys know what Borostrom does, but it says all your creatures are indestructible this turn. And that's pretty good against Supreme Verdict, let me tell you. If you tried Supreme Verdict and they have a Borostrom, it's not looking good for you. So I'm kind of excited. I'm going to hopefully be making an Esper deck list either today or tomorrow. I don't have it ready for this video because, like I said, I just got back not too long ago. I don't even have all the cards yet I'm going to need for the deck. I'm going to have to pick them up. I have some of them. But what the main purpose of this video is to talk about some new cards that I think are going to have a huge, huge impact on this new standard format. So I guess let's get started. We're going to start with some new cards that came out recently. First is Orzhov Charm. Orzhov Charm's really, really good. It's pretty underrated. I mean, it has two pretty subpar abilities. One of them's kind of like an unsummon, only for your own creatures, which isn't really that good. Its second ability, its third ability rather, you can return a creature with 1 or less mana from your graveyard to the battlefield. I think that can actually be utilized in maybe a junk deck list with when you're playing mana dorks, or maybe even in a Delver deck list later in the game. Maybe you can get a Delver back on the field if you really need to. But the main effect I wanna delve into, no pun intended, is the second ability, or the second effect rather, where you destroy a target creature and you lose life equal to that creature's toughness. Yeah, you can take a big hit from killing big creatures, but unlike Ultimate Price, which Ultimate Price is only monocolored creatures, this standard format is going to be a little bit different. I expect some Obsidian Ghost Councils. I expect Olivia Voldaren. I expect Huntmaster of the Fells. I expect all these creatures, and frankly, Ultimate Price cannot kill those creatures. Orzhov Charm can, and that's pretty awesome. Especially, I mean, these other effects aren't that good, but it does have the utility that you are able to use those effects. So that's pretty cool. I think it's going to be good. In kind of a tempo deck. I really think this card can be really good in a Delver deck. You can kill creatures that might be in Delver's way. Like Olivia Voldaren is a pretty big deal for that creature. Maybe you're playing Geist of St. Trapp. You can kill a Huntmaster or something like that. I'm not too sure, but I think this card's going to have a really big impact just because it's more versatile than Ultimate Price. And cards like Obsidat that get blinked out during your opponent's turn, you can't mass removal it. You can't use Supreme Verdict. You can't use Terminus unless they leave it on the field, which they most likely won't. So cards like Orzhov Charm are really going to have a big impact, in my opinion, as a kill spell. Next, I'm going to go with a new card printed. It's called Devour Flesh. Devour Flesh is kind of like Tribute to Hunger, except it costs 1 less, and your opponent gains life equal to that creature's toughness. This card is really good against aggro decks. It's really good against... what else was I going to say? I lost my train of thought. Sorry. Oh! One of the decks that dominated the last standard format before Gatecrash out release was the Bant Hexproof, Invisible Stalker, and Guess the Same Trap. This card totally wrecks that deck. They go to put an enchantment or 2 enchantments on, you Devour Flesh, they get neg2, neg3, and it's just an amazing card, and it gets around all the hexproof. It's instant speed, only costs 2 mana. It's way better than Tribute to Hunger. Yes, your opponent gains life instead of you gaining life, but 1 mana makes a huge difference. Turn 2 you can play this. Turn 3 you can play Lingering Souls if you were playing this in some type of black-white deck or something or another. It just frees up another turn, pretty much. This card just gives you another turn where you wouldn't really be doing too much on turn 2, maybe other than like a thing twice or something like that. Devour Flesh just frees up your turn 2 much more nicely, and it removes their creature. It's gonna have a big impact. I promise you it will. There's a lot of decks in Star City that did pretty well that are playing this card in 2s and 3s up, and it's gonna continue to have a great impact. The next card I'm going to show you guys is a card that a lot of my friends are torn apart about. It's called Dustmantle Seer. I don't know if you know what it does. Most of you probably do. It's 2, a blue, and a black, so it costs 4 for a 4/4 flyer. And at the beginning of your upkeep, you and your opponent both reveal a top card of your deck, of your library, and you lose life equal to that card's converted mana cost, and then you add it to your hand. The reason why I like Dustmantle Seer is, apart from Orzhov Charm, it can't be killed. It can't be Searing Spirit. It can't be Orzhov Charmed, obviously. It can't be Ultimate Price. You can only mass removal it, pretty much. I mean, you can Devour Flesh it, but you usually won't have this guy by himself. He nets you a card. Yeah, you lose life, and yeah, your opponent also gets a card. But the good part is, at least it's on your turn. All happens during your upkeep. You get to utilize that card. Your opponent might not. They could be tapped out, and they just add a card to their hand. And you get a free card, untapped mana, best case scenario. It's also 4/4/4/4 flyer. It's pretty beefy. Restoration Angel can't do anything to it. It can race your opponent really well. Right now, I'm liking this card a lot. I don't know how many I'd play in a deck, what type of deck I'd play it in. Maybe an Esper Control list, maybe not though. Esper Control probably has some high mana cost creatures, maybe like Obsidat or something like that. And you could take a beating from it, so maybe in kind of a tempo deck, maybe a Delver deck, play it as a 2 or 3 of as your sweeper. But I think Dustmantle Seer is going to have more of an impact than a lot of people think. I think it's a pretty good card. By the way, I'm going off cards that most people know, other cards that are going to have a big impact, like Boros Charm and stuff like that. So I'm not going to go over and Boros Reckoner. I'm not going to go over those cards. I'm going for the more cards that not many people know about. Just to clear that up. Last one out is Domri Raid. I can't pronounce that name for some reason. Domri Raid. He's a Planeswalker. I think he only costs 3, which is really awesome, and especially since he's red and green. A lot of people argue that Tybalt or whatever, they're low mana cost, and they don't really have a big impact. Obviously, because they're low mana cost, and it would be too strong. However, Domri Raid, I like him being at 3 and in red and green because you can go turn 1 Mana Door, turn 2 Domri Raid. I think that's a pretty good play. Not much is going to be able to kill your guy. He goes up to 4. Loyalty, if they play a turn 1, I don't know. If mono red decks can't really kill it unless they have pretty good draw, like Cackler into Ash Zealot, then they could probably kill it. But then again, you could just, if you really wanted him alive, you could chump with your Mana Dork. But I would like to see him played in a Naya mid-range deck. You're playing Thragtusk, you're playing Huntmasters, you're playing Zealous Conscripts, you're playing all these awesome cards. Kind of like the back a little whiles ago, the pod deck list, the Naya pod and stuff like that. Kind of like that. I like Domri Raid a lot in a very heavy creature oriented deck. I wouldn't like to play many spells with him. I might play a couple bonfires, maybe that's it. I wouldn't go too overboard because his +1 ability, it's pretty much draw a card, and it's a pretty good chance to draw a card. Obviously, there's lands that can get in your way too, but you want to minimize the chances that you will not net a card draw off of his +1 ability. His -2 ability is going to be really good in a mid-range deck. You can fight creatures. That's going to be a big deal. You usually will have bigger creatures like Thragtusk and stuff like that, so I think that's going to be a pretty good utilize. I don't know about a 7. It's going to be really hard to get -7 unless you're playing against a control deck, which, by the way, Dominating Raid destroys control decks. Destroys them. So I think he's a card that most people are hesitant to get on board with, but I think he's going to have a decent impact once people find the right place for him. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go over two cards that are older. They aren't from Gatecrash, and I think they're going to have a huge impact. Here we go. First things first, Tragic Salute. With all the aggro decks, this card's going to be amazing with Snapcaster Mage. It is going to be amazing. They're going to be playing Stromkirk Nobles and all these one-cost creatures like Thalia and Mana Dorks. They're all going to be popular. This card, 1-for-1, gets rid of them, 1 mana cost. It's amazing. Combo this with Snapcaster Mage, and you are just tearing their field apart. You can net a 2-for-3 in 1 turn by slipping, playing Snapcaster, blocking the creature, and trading, and then Tragic Slipping another creature. It can just do some amazing plays. I loved it back when it was played a lot in the older format against aggressive decks, and I think it's going to have a really big impact now that it's going to be a faster format with Mana Dorks and Mono Red and everything like that. This card is going to be awesome. Plus, this card's really good against Boros Reckoner. If a creature already died this turn, you can give it -13, -13, and since Boros Reckoner isn't taking damage, it dies and it doesn't get a return damage back to you. So I think Treasury Slip's going to have another big impact. It's going to come back, I promise. Last but not least, it's Abrupt Decay. Obviously, this card wasn't seen that much play in Standard. It played a little bit in Legacy and a little bit in Modern. It's a really good card, a green and a black. It can't be countered by spells or abilities. Destroy a non-name permanent with mana cost 3 or less. It can kill Dominating Raid. It can kill almost everything in Mono Red. It kills Boros Reckoner. It kills Mana Dorks. It kills a lot of things. It kills Detention Sphere, Oblivion Ring. It's just a really good removal spell that's going to be good now because it's a fast format. Back last format, towards the end, there wasn't a lot it could kill because of the fact that they were playing Thragtusk, they're playing Huntmaster, they're playing Olivia Voldaren, they're playing all these big, beefy cards, and it just couldn't get rid of them. But now that it's going to be a more faster format. Right as of right now, it's going to be. It's just going to kill anything. It's really good. It's 2 mana, kills something, can't be countered, instant speed. I think it's going to have a big part. But yeah, I'm just going to have a short video for today. I don't want to, flood you guys, and I have class soon. So I just wanted to kickstart my return with a little bit of information about Gatecrash. Yeah, by the way, if you're looking to draft, from my point of view, the strongest decks are Orzhov and Simic. Obviously, it's drafting, and you pretty much have to go with what you're past, but sometimes you can force it. So that's what my experience. A lot of my friends are playing. Were playing Orzhov during the draft, and they did really well also. But yeah, just message me, leave me a comment to this video, stuff like that. I want to hear your guys' feedback. If you guys disagree with me, or maybe if you have other sleepers, tell me what they are and why are they going to be good cards. What impact are they going to provide to the Standard metagame? Also, some old cards. Just show me a list. Why are they going to be good? What type of decks are they going to be played in? I like to hear about this stuff because I would like to test it out also. And I'm going to make another video either tomorrow or Friday. I'm not sure what it's going to be about. Probably about a deck. I'm going to try to play Standard on Friday, but I'm not sure. So yeah, definitely leave me a comment and let me know what you guys think of the new set Gatecrash. A lot of people have big feelings about it. I like it. It's changing up the format. Last format was pretty stagnant. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. If you would, hit the like button, follow. Obviously, I'm new. But yeah, talk to you guys later.